Her father drowned during a stormy night at sea, his boat capsized by the relentless waves, leaving a void that nothing could fill. With her younger siblings to care for, Grace was thrust into the role of provider. Grace Nochukwu stood in the busy market of Lagos, her hands skillfully arranging the vibrant fabrics on her small wooden store. The market was alive with activity, the air filled with a symphony of traders and buyers' bargaining voices, the clatter of carts, and the vibrant colors of countless goods. At just 24, she had faced more trials than most people have endured in a lifetime. The ever-shining sun beat down mercilessly, casting long shadows and making the air shimmer with heat, but Grace's resolve was unshakable. Her eyes, sharp and determined, reflected a spirit forged in the crucible of hardship. She was determined to rise above the adversities that had shaped her journey and to create a better future for herself and her family. Born in a modest village in Enugu, Grace's early years were marked by relentless struggle. Her father, a fisherman, spent long, grueling hours at sea, while her mother, a seamstress, worked tirelessly, her fingers nimble yet worn from countless hours of sewing. Despite their unwavering efforts, the family often went to bed with empty stomachs, the pangs of hunger a constant companion. Education, a beacon of hope, was a luxury they couldn't afford. Yet Grace was a bright child, her eyes were always alight with curiosity, and she yearned to learn more about the world. She would sneak into the local school, her small frame barely visible as she peered through windows, eagerly catching snippets of lessons. Her dream of becoming a graduate seemed like an impossible fantasy, yet she clung to it fiercely, determined that one day she would break free from the chains of poverty. At 16, tragedy struck with a cruel blow. Her father drowned during a stormy night at sea, his boat capsized by the relentless waves, leaving a void that nothing could fill. Her mother, heartbroken and weakened, fell ill shortly after, her strength slowly ebbing away. With her younger siblings to care for, Grace was thrust into the role of provider. She started selling akora, known as fried bean cakes, in the market, rising before dawn each day to prepare the batter and set up her store. The work was grueling, her hands were often blistered and sore, but she never complained. Each coin she earned was a step closer to her dream, a small victory in a life filled with battles. The market was a harsh and unforgiving place, especially for a young girl. Grace faced constant harassment from men who saw her as an easy target, their eyes lecherous and their intentions clear. They offered her money, gifts, and promises of a better life in exchange for her body. Many girls in her situation succumbed to the pressure, trading their dignity for survival in a world that offered them little else. But Grace refused. She had seen the hollow eyes of those who had fallen into that trap, their spirits broken and their futures bleak. She vowed never to follow that path, her resolve earning her both respect and scorn. Some admired her strength and determination, others mocked her naivety, unable to understand her unwavering commitment to her principles. One fateful evening, as Grace was closing her store, a well-dressed woman approached her. Her name was Mrs. Johnson, and she ran a local NGO focused on empowering young women through education. She had noticed Grace's tenacity and offered her a scholarship to complete her secondary education. Grace was overjoyed, but she hesitated. Who would take care of her siblings? Mrs. Johnson, sensing her dilemma, assured her that the NGO would provide for her family. With a heart full of hope and trepidation, Grace accepted the offer, her dreams once again within reach. Balancing school and work was exhausting, but Grace thrived. She would attend classes during the day, her mind a sponge, soaking up knowledge, and then return to the market in the evening, her hands as busy as ever. She graduated with top honors. Her hard work and dedication paid off, and she received another scholarship for university. She chose to study business administration, hoping to one day start her own company and create a better life for herself and her family. University life was a whirlwind of lectures, assignments, and part-time jobs. Her days were a blur of activity. There were moments of doubt and nights of tears, but Grace pressed on, her eyes always on the prize. She made friends and found mentors, and slowly, the pieces of her dream began to fall into place. In her final year, disaster struck again. Her mother passed away, leaving Grace devastated and her heart heavy with grief. The loss was overwhelming, and for a time, she considered giving up, the weight of her sorrow threatening to crush her spirit. But the memory of her mother's sacrifices and the promise she had made to herself kept her going. She channeled her pain into her studies, determined to make her mother proud and to honor her memory by succeeding. Graduation day was a moment of bittersweet triumph. As Grace stood on stage, clutching her diploma, she looked out into the crowd, her heart swelling with a mix of joy and sorrow. Her siblings beamed with pride, their eyes shining with tears, a testament to the strength of their bond. Mrs. Johnson, who had become a second mother to her, gave her a thumbs up, her eyes filled with pride. Grace's heart swelled with gratitude and joy. She had done it. Against all odds, she had achieved her dream. But the journey didn't end there. Grace returned to the market, not as a trader but as an entrepreneur. She started her own business, employing other young women and offering them the same opportunities she had been given. Her store grew into a shop, her shop into a small business, and her small business into a thriving enterprise. She became a beacon of hope, a testament to what could be achieved with hard work and determination. Grace's story spread far and wide, inspiring countless others. She was living proof that one's past did not dictate their future, and that with perseverance, even the most impossible dreams could come true. Her journey was a tapestry of sadness, pain, and joy, woven together with threads of unwavering resolve. And in the end, it was not just her success but her spirit that made her a true graduate of life.